Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called 3 Times a Day. Today's memory verse is from Daniel chapter 6, verse 10. It says, Daniel prayed, giving thanks to his God. The message for today's story is we worship God when we pray. Do you like talking to your friends? You can talk to Jesus just like a friend, anytime, anywhere, about anything, just like Daniel did. The new King Darius sat on his throne surrounded by servants. These are my orders, he began. I am going to divide my kingdom into 120 parts. Each part will have a prince to help me rule over it, and there will be 3 men in charge of the princes. Daniel will be one of them. Some of the princes the king chose didn't want Daniel to be in charge. Let's get him into trouble, they whispered together secretly. We'll catch him doing something wrong, and we'll tell the king. But although they watched Daniel carefully every day, they could not find him doing anything wrong. I have a new plan, one prince announced. He huddled together with the other jealous men, and then they went to the king. Long live King Darius, the princes said, bowing low. We think you should make a new law that for the next 30 days, the people can only pray to you, and if anyone disobeys, they should be thrown into the lion's den. King Darius liked to have people bow down before him, and if the king made a law, it could not be changed. So he agreed. The princes smiled as they left the king. Now we can catch Daniel. Everyone knows that Daniel prays 3 times a day with the windows wide open. The princes watched, and soon they saw Daniel praying, not to the king, but to his God. They hurried to the king. Daniel's still praying to his God, they reported. King Darius now realized that the princes had asked him to make the law so that they could get rid of Daniel. But King Darius liked Daniel. Yet still, the king had made a law, and he had to keep it. Daniel had to go into the lion's den. May the God whom you serve save you, the king exclaimed to Daniel as the soldiers took him away. All that evening, King Darius worried about Daniel, and when he went to bed, he couldn't sleep. As soon as the sun peeked over the land, the king hurried to the lion's den. Daniel, has your God saved you from the lions? He shouted. O king, live forever, Daniel called back. My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths. King Darius smiled as the soldiers lifted Daniel out of the lion's den. He hurried back to his palace and wrote a letter to be read to everyone in his kingdom. Daniel's God is the living God, the king wrote. His God can rescue and save people. His God saved Daniel from the lions. King Darius's law couldn't stop Daniel from praying. The lions couldn't stop Daniel from praying. God heard Daniel's prayers, and God hears your prayers too.
This podcast was brought to you by Gracelink.net and Studio El Piso. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net.